Every Monday morning, it's the same routine. You explore last week data. It means that you just lose time clicking everywhere into Google Ads and Meta to try to find explanation on why the CPA increased or why the cost decreased in that campaign. So you take notes, you write comments, you switch tabs. You do that for the first client, the second client, and by the time you finish your portfolio, Monday is gone. And you didn't actually work on those accounts to fix it. So if you feel that pain, that video is for you. I stopped doing that a couple of months ago, thanks to a tool called Markifact. So Markifact is a PPC automation tool, and now that PPC automation tool can connect to your Claude in your computer. So you don't have to go into Markifact and create workflows or talk to the agent. You can directly work from your Claude desktop. And the best part is that I'm not a developer. I didn't have to write any line of code. I just needed to follow some steps to connect Markifact to Claude so I could access all of my Google Ads and Meta accounts. In a previous video, we made a tutorial on how to connect Markifact MCP to your Claude desktop. So go and watch that video in our YouTube channel. In this video, I will walk you through how I'm actually using Claude Code and Markifact to do a full reporting on my clients on Monday morning. Let's get into it. So let's see how you can create full reportings using Claude Desktop connected to your advertising account using Markifact MCP. So in a previous video, we showed you how you could connect Markifact to Claude Desktop. So I'm not going to go in depth on how to do it, just a quick recap. You need to have a Markifact account, and inside Markifact, you need to connect your different advertising account in the connection tab on the left. So for example, Google Ads, Meta, TikTok, Google Analytics. This is crucial. So Markifact has access to your ad account, and then we can link Markifact to Claude Desktop. To do so, you need to go into the MCP tab and create a new MCP server. It's basically a link between Markifact and Claude or ChatGPT. So here, let's just do a test to show you. So when you click on create, you go down there. Here you have the full explanation on how you can connect Markifact to Claude Desktop. It's very straightforward. It's 3-step, and you can watch another video on our channel. We covered all of that in depth. So once this is connected to your Claude Desktop, basically the Markifact MCP server will be enabled. So every time we will ask Claude to do something on an account, he will use the Markifact MCP server to understand what operations are available and how he can do the task we are asking him to do. So let's start, and let's say we are Monday morning and we are making a check on a client for the past week because we need to send a quick weekly report to the client. So I will start chatting with Claude. Can you check my Meta account called AFM Energy? Use the Markifact MCP. I need you to make a weekly report for that account. So we need to check the spend, we need to check the results, we need to check the cost per results. Give us an overview of which campaign are working better, which ad sets are working better if we have, and which ads are working better. Then I also need you to make a breakdown by audience to see which audience generate most leads. Make a breakdown by age, gender as well, and device. So I want you to go through my entire campaign, check the results compared to the previous week, and give us insights. And basically, I want you to then suggest some optimization that we could do in that account. So I voluntarily gave him a very big prompt. Okay, so usually you would just ask smaller stuff, but here I just want to blast him with all my requests to see how he can process it, to show you how it actually works in the backend. So I'm just sending my prompt. I don't need to connect anything. The Markifact MCP server is connected. So first he will load the tools. The tool is obviously the Markifact MCP server. He will list the different accounts to find my account, find which operation he needs to activate to give me the information that I request, and then it's running the operation. So it's asking the account for the information. And it's basically orchestrating the tool to get a lot of information. So there, found the account. Now it's pulling all the data. So it will run several reports in parallel for campaign, ads and breakdown. So we got it pretty good. he mentioned that he will pull the data so he can give us a full report. So we will just let it run the operation. If you want to check, you can click here and you will see exactly what operation it is doing. So let me show you one. So basically, Claude is activating a small piece of code, so some request to my account to get the data. So for example, here, last week, Monday, Sunday, on my specific account, getting the cost, impression, and clicks, and sending that information back. So it's running some API calls through Markifact to get the information from Meta. So you don't need to know exactly how this works, but I just wanted to show you how it works in the backend. It's Claude activating little pieces of code through Markifact to get information from your account. So we will break it down and do it step by step. We will let him finish and then we will go through the output. So Claude is working right now. So he pulled all the data and then he crunched all the data to make a report. So what we have, a week-on-week report with the total spend, number of leads, so same as previous week, cost per lead, impressions. Then we have a breakdown on campaigns with this one that is the main campaign, and the other one has no results. Then he gives breakdown on the ad set performance, so we can see our different type of ad set that we have and we can check the performance. So the French one works better. You see it gives us results. Top ads for this week. So we can see that this one is the one that generated most leads with the best cost per action. He also spotted that those two are new, so we need to monitor them. What do we have? We have a breakdown by age. So we can see that our leads here is mostly 65 plus, but as you see, there is not much data. Most of the leads, all of the leads are male actually, and all of the leads are coming from mobile app. So here you see that you already have a kind of a dashboard quickly made directly in Claude. So he gave us a couple of key concerns. So the Luxembourg ad sets spend a lot of money with 0 leads and 1 expensive lead the week before. So need to do something for that. Consideration campaign is not generating measurable outcomes. Female audience, we spend money, but it's not converting. And the age group generated 0 leads this week, 2 leads previous week. There is a high variance signal. But as you mentioned, this is a small sample size. All right, so key insights. Only 1 campaign generating leads, that's the main campaigns. All the leads come from the French ad set, perfect. The best creative is this one, 65 plus is the strongest age segment. 100% of leads come from the mobile app. And several new ads launched, so we also checked the change history. So this is already a pretty good overview. I won't go over the recommendation because obviously Claude doesn't have the context of my account. So he doesn't know what we launched, why we changed the campaign, why we modify the ads, maybe we have some promotion. So as long as I'm not sharing that context yet with Claude, I'm not going to bother reading the recommendation. So basically he gives us that back into a message that we can just share with the client. Okay, let's tweak it a bit. Let's give him a bit more data to crunch. Okay, I would also like to include the data of Monday and Tuesday. So Monday 23rd of March and Tuesday 24th of March, because we ramp up the budget those 2 days, and I would like to compare the beginning of this week with the previous 2 weeks. When you do the analysis, that's perfect, but can you create an artifact? Or can you just make it a PDF so I can share it with my team? There we go. So you will basically use the same tool to get the data from the new date I mentioned, and then he will compare that to the other data that he has. Then he's going to make a PDF most likely. When that report is going to be done, we will go a bit further, and I will actually give context to Claude. I will tell him what's going on that account, client side, so you can comment and understand better the results. So the agent finished working and created a PDF, taking into account March 23 and 24 alone. So what do we see here? Let me slightly zoom in. All right. So here we have the account summary. Let's open in preview. It's going to be better. All right, so the report is generated, and what can we see? So indeed, it added correctly the spend of this week and did a comparison. So you can see that we spend more, we have way more lead, and the cost per lead is actually way better. So I mentioned that budget was significantly increased and bring a lot of leads at a very good CPL. So regarding the campaign breakdown, that's the main lead campaign that brings most of the leads. Why? Because budget ramped up. Ad set performance. Okay, this French ad set is working better than the one from Luxembourg. That's perfect. So we write a quick comment like French is a clear winner. And regarding the ad creative across, this video is the one that bring most leads at best cost per lead. So this is clearly the best performer. Regarding the audience, what do we see? The core audience is 35 to 54. This is the core audience, strong ramp up. Gender is almost only male, gender, yeah, 100%. We have the device report. So yeah, all the leads are coming from mobile app. And then he gave us key insights. So budget ramp up is working. The French video drives all the results. France consistently outperformed Luxembourg, so that's an interesting take. We need to look into that. Mention that female audience not converting. We spend a lot of money, but it doesn't generate leads, so maybe we should exclude women. Not sure. And then the age emerged as the top segment, so something to monitor. He also mentioned that we have new ads launch March 15, still unproven, so give it time. So basically, he gave us a full report in just a matter of minutes. And to be honest, for a weekly check on an account, you don't really need much more than that. And it's automatically generated as a PDF that you can send to the team or to the client. So he gives a couple of optimization recommendations. So redistribute budget from Luxembourg to France. Then again, he doesn't have the context. This is why he made those recommendations. Scale the French video, restructure the consideration campaign, add male audience only signal. Okay, could be pause or archive non-performing static creatives. So yeah, that's a pretty decent report. So that report shows numbers. It tells us, okay, there is more lead, there is less leads. The most logical explanation is that we ramp up the budget, but it doesn't have the context. So I will now explaining what happened on that specific account, so he can actually make comments that make sense. Because right now he's just commenting numbers. You can do that. You don't need AI to tell you that the lead increased. You can see that on the report. So let's go a step further and give the AI context. All right, thanks for the report. It's pretty good. Now I will give you context about that client, because you made some suggestion and recommendation that are wrong because you are lacking context on that client account. So the budget suddenly starting ramping up as of Monday 23rd because Meta removed the daily budget cap. Before we were capped at 40 euro a day, and as of Monday we can now spend a limited amount of money, so we ramp up the budget as of Monday. This is why. This is because Meta removed the daily budget cap. Regarding the consideration campaign, we actually paused the consideration campaign, so don't even take that into account. Regarding the suggestion for moving budget from Luxembourg to France because France work better, actually the client wants to spend the same amount on Luxembourg and France because both are interesting market for him, and he knows that Luxembourg is more expensive in terms of leads than France. So we won't reallocate budget. So the suggestion made sense, but with this context, it doesn't make sense because we have a client who requests very clear that we keep the same budget on Luxembourg and France. We also have new video coming up in the pipe. So for the moment, we are actually going to scale the video that works well and pause the static assets and the other video that doesn't work. So we will have new video in the next few weeks to avoid ad fatigue. So this is the context. So please review your comments and re-export the PDF with new comments based on that context. So this is exactly like if you were explaining to your teammate what happened into that account. So right now, I just voiced that to the AI, but what you could do is just on a daily basis, write this down in a Google Doc, for example, like, okay, on Friday, client asked this, on Monday, this happened. And so you just have to give that file to Claude and you don't have to voice the entire context again. So let Claude remake the reporting taking into account or context. So I strongly suggest you do that. You keep what I call a log. It's a simple file with everything that happens on that account, so you can give context to the LLM when he makes the analysis. So now he's going to rebuild the PDF, so he already spotted the summary of the different changes. He knows that I'm talking a lot, so he could summarize that in 4 sentences. That's perfect. And now he's working to rebuild the PDF. Okay, so new PDF is exported. Let's have a look. We'll open the PDF. So what do we have? Here we have now a context note. As of Monday, 23rd of March, Meta lifted account daily budget cap. The increased spend in volume reflects this removal, not a manual budget change. And the consideration campaign was intentionally paused. So it already gives context, even for the people reading the report. Okay, this is what happened, and it can explain some of the results. So here you can see that now it takes the context into account. So on March 24th and 23rd, covers 2 days only following Meta removal of the €40 bid cap. So you see now it takes into account everything. Ad set performance, France versus Luxembourg. The client maintains an intentional equal budget split between France and Luxembourg. Luxembourg is a non-higher CPL market, and this is accepted as part of the strategy. So it doesn't tell now to move budget from Luxembourg to France. He knows the context and he can make better comments based on the context. And so when he put some notes, higher CPL for Luxembourg, okay, that's consistent with Luxembourg market. But anyway, the ad set respond positively to the cap removal, 3 leads versus 0 the previous week. So you see now he can make comments, educated comments, not guesses, because of the context that we gave him. So this is how I run my reports now. I just ask Claude to do them for me, and I provide context. So to go a step further now, let's say that, okay, we finish the reporting for this week, and next week you want to run the report and you want to have the same type of report. What you can do now is to ask Claude to create a prompt to get that specific result. So next week you can just copy paste the prompt into Claude and you will have the exact same report with updates in the data. Okay, the report is very good. Can you write me a prompt, a complete and extensive prompt? So next week when I need to do my Monday reporting again, I can just give you that prompt and you will recreate the exact same report with updated dates. So we ask the AI to write its own prompt for next week. And there you go. We have the exact prompt for next week. And what's super interesting is that in the prompt, he mentioned already interesting data. Like we need to pull data from that specific account, connect it with that specific email. And then he mentioned for the data pool, use this operation from the Markifact MCP server. So next week is going to be even more effective. And just like that, we went from spending our full Monday to make reports to actually generate them in less than 10 minutes. So we can actually work on those accounts just from a chat window, just from Claude desktop. So no export, no spreadsheets, no copy pasting everywhere. So you connect Markifact to Claude once, you save your reporting prompt, and every Monday you just run them and you have your reports done in a minute. This is actually your new reporting workflow. Asking Claude Code connects to Markifact MCP, Markifact MCP connect to your ad account, get the information back into Claude for processing and giving you the full report. So if you like the video, click the link in the description so you can get access to Markifact, connect your Google Ads and Meta account, and then generate an MCP so you can connect to your Claude desktop account. Thank you guys for watching. I see you in the next one, and as I always say, happy automating.